is a story about Wagner, Peanut, and Dexter's morning beach adventure. The sand and the surf, the alarm buzzing at 4:30 a.m. isn't usually a welcome sound, but for Wagner, it's a necessary prelude to the best part of his day. At 6'3", with shoulders broadened by years of hauling drywall and concrete, Wagner is a giant to most, but in his beach bungalow, he is merely the staff responsible for open doors and early breakfasts. Long before the coffee maker has finished dripping, the sounds of morning have begun. Dexter, the big white German Shepherd Husky mix, already has his paws on the bedside, letting out a soft, impatient whine. Dexter is alert, protective, and perpetually ready for action. And then there's Peanut. When Wagner first brought her home, Peanut, a Great Dane, was all clumsy paws and velvet ears. Now she is a towering, elegant greyhound-colored goddess, but one who clearly doesn't know her own size. Peanut doesn't just wake up, she stretches, her massive legs taking up the entire width of the hallway, her tail thumping like a drum against the wall in anticipation. By 5:15 a.m., they are in the truck. It's a 15-minute drive, just as the sky over Pompano is turning a soft, pale gray-blue. They have a specific access point where the dunes are high, and the beach is usually empty at this hour. The moment the truck door opens, the transformation is instant. Wagner doesn't even have to give a command. Peanut and Dexter know the rules. No leashes, just the open Atlantic. Dexter is a blur of white, racing directly toward the water, his ears pinned back in pure speed. Peanut, on the other hand, runs like a giant, happy colt. She is faster than she looks, her huge strides eating up the packed sand until she catches up to Dexter, nudging him sideways with her wet snout. "Go get it, Dexter," Wagner calls, tossing a heavy-duty, orange floating ring high into the air. Dexter hits the water like a torpedo, flashing wildly through the shallow surf. But the ocean is alive this morning, and a 2-foot wave swells just as Dexter reaches for the ring. He doesn't flinch. He jumps into the wave, biting into the air as the white foam crests. He misses the ring, but comes up shaking his head, more energized than before. This is Peanut's cue. She is less about the chase and more about the chaos. She bounds into the water next to Dexter, her large paws churning the ocean into a frothy mess. She doesn't swim as much as she gallops through the knee-deep water, biting at the incoming waves and playfully lunging at Dexter when he gets too close to the ring. Wagner watches them from the water's edge, the cool, salty foam washing over his bare feet. He checks his watch. 5:45 a.m. Another 20 minutes. He starts running, and the dogs instantly abandon their ocean battle to flank him. They race down the shoreline for a quarter mile, strong man and his 2 giant dogs, illuminated by the first bright orange sliver of the sun peeking over the horizon. Dexter sprints ahead, checking the territory, while Peanut trots happily at Wagner's elbow, her shoulder occasionally brushing his arm. When they turn back, the games begin again. Dexter is relentless. He will fetch that floating ring until his legs fail him. Peanut, now thoroughly energized by the run, decides that the best game is keep away. She manages to snag the orange ring from Dexter and prances out of reach, dropping it just long enough for Dexter to lunge for it, before grabbing it and running into the deep water. "All right, guys, last one," Wagner yells, throwing the ring as far as he can into the swell. Both dogs disappear into the white caps. Dexter gets the prize, emerging a minute later, soaked to the bone, his white coat now clotted with wet sand. Peanut is right beside him, equally soaked, but still bouncing. By 6:15 a.m., the sun is high and bright, warming the sand. Back at the truck, the air is thick with the smell of wet dog and salt water. This is when the hard work begins. Wagner has a hose-down kit in the truck bed, 2 gallons of fresh water, and 2 massive beach towels. He rinses their paws first, making sure no abrasive salt sand is trapped. Peanut, usually so playful, becomes comically docile, lifting her giant paws one by one for him to rinse. Dexter stands guard, letting himself be toweled off only after Peanut is done. They are exhausted. They're panting happy and relaxed. By 7 a.m., they are back home. The dogs, now fed, have already claimed their spots for a long, well-earned nap. Peanut is draped over the sofa, looking like a statue. Dexter is a white curled ball on the cool tile floor. Wagner grabs his hard hat, a second cup of coffee, and heads to the construction site. His muscles are already slightly warm from the morning's activity, and his feet still feel the faint tang of salt water. Let the workday begin. The best part of his day is already complete.